Hello, gents. It's me. Of course, you know who I am already. I wanted to talk about a certain idea that's been brewing in my head for some time now. And the question to this is, can you live longer being single? And I always try to analyze that. You see, a married man, you can tell what a married man looks like. They're usually, well, at least 5 years in a marriage, 5 years and plus some. They're out of shape. They look their minds and eyes, everything about them just kind of looks clouded, like they're caught in a haze of not understanding or not being aware anymore. And they don't look so healthy. You can tell there's like an aura of misery around them. Yet when you see a single man, who has no girlfriend, or maybe he does, fools around with them and whatnot, he looks like a wild lion, and he looks like he'd be able to outlast in any situation than the married man. It, but the question is still, I still wonder about the question: if can a single man outlive the married man? I know they say that when you get married, you have kids, and your kids are your legacy. I understand that. But yet, nowadays, when you think about how marriage is and how kids are raised in the family, how the man is usually, he has two jobs, or he has a very demanding single job that when he's off, he only gets to see his child for maybe once out of the week, and it's only for a couple of hours. And in those couple of hours, he wants to work on something else, like his house, or go hunting, or do something with his all the money he has that he saved up for the week or worked for the week. And most men usually tend to forget that because they want to get a bite of that freedom they used to have. And because of this, the child usually suffers. Mostly boys do anyway, because, well, girls too. Yeah, both actually, both genders of children suffer. Usually, from what I hear, a lot of strippers are women who grew up without a dad or any kind of positive father figure, and boys who grew up without a father figure usually end up to be criminals or crazed maniacs, or the kind of weirdos you hear about in the news. And I think one of the reasons why is because a boy, when he grows up, he begins to, around the age of 10 to 12, he begins to challenge his mother, and like he begins to get what he wants. What happens is he starts to get what he wants because he's starting to realize that he will be able to overpower his mother. And the mother, I'm sure, can sense that, and that's why the mother usually spoils the sons of the family, and usually leaves the daughters left behind. And because of that, I think a lot of the daughters feel true neglection, and that's why usually you see a lot of the women nowadays resort to being prostitutes or strippers or hooter waitresses, just trying to get that bit of attention. And that's usually what a lot of men's legacies are nowadays through marriage and children. Very rare that a man has a child, then he actually has time to raise that child in the proper manner. But it's very rare that you can actually truly have a legacy. Because in those situations where the man's always gone, the legacy, the the habits, the the attitude of the children usually comes from the mother, and you can see it. They take traits more from their mother than they would their father, since their father isn't around. And in a sense, I could say you could maybe say that most kids don't even carry on the positive habits and traits of their father. They carry on what their mothers had. And most mothers these days, or single mothers, are spoiled, self-righteous, privileged women. And then boys grow up with that attitude, and it reality really gives them a boot to the face. And this only usually fuels more anger into them. Hence, criminals, rapists, all the ugly sorts. Now that's usually how it tends to happen with a man's legacy with children. But now a single man, I'm going to use myself as an example here. I create a lot of artwork. Well, I try to anyway. I make pictures and portraits of famous characters and sometimes actors and stuff in movies, and it takes usually about a week and a half for me to make a picture. Sometimes a little longer. I kid you not, those pictures, I put a lot of heart and soul into these pictures and come out just fine. I'm usually not pleased with them, but most people are when they see them. And I know for a fact that even some of the paintings that I've made will outlive me. And in a sense, men like me who go on with their passions and don't, and one thing I have realized with not really looking for a girlfriend or for that matter a wife, and not really caring to have kids, I noticed that a lot of free time has opened up for me. And in that free time, I like to try to write my stories and work on my artwork. And with all that free time, I only imagine how good I'll be when I'm in my 30s. It's fun to think about stuff like that, but you can't get too caught into imagination all the time. Then you're just stuck wandering in circles. But anyway, so yeah, those pictures and the art usually will outlive me for sure. Maybe even a couple generations after me. And I'll have nieces or nephews or distant relatives that will see my artwork, and I'm sure some distant family members will just, be amazed at what I've made, And besides that, since I have more free time, I'm able to write into my journal and leave notes behind and how I felt about certain days and certain points of my life. And because of that, if a family member or a certain person was interested in my artwork and I'm already long gone dead, they have my artwork to look at and study, and they also get a chance to read my notes and see just what kind of man I was. Now, I don't aim to be in some history books or anything or some crap like that. It's just not. It's a blind illusion to try to reach for fame and glory and power, because it's not the right way of going about your passions. And so the real question is can a single man outlive? Well, here's the thing. So yeah, I clarified that my work would outlive me. That's a given. So I guess in essence, men like me who are single, go by the MGTOW philosophy, and we go about our passions, and we make things, we create, because that's when man is at his happiest peak, is when he is creating something and he knows how to create it. That is when he's happy. That's why when a man holds his firstborn son or daughter, he falls into tears. I mean, he created this in a sense. This is his creation. And I kind of get a little joy out of making my own artwork, won't lie. But it's probably not as potent as having a child. But, you know, excuse me. You know, but then again, I come to terms with that. Having a child it's a beautiful thing to have it, but this day and age, it's pretty. I think it's just very. I don't know how to describe it. How to say this, but it's very. It's just kind of sad to bring a life into this world, especially how it is now. It's not fair for it. I would say, especially if it's a boy. And if it was a girl, she would just be fed all this overprivilege, dominance, and then she would be just another reckless teenage girl, making me stressed out. Anyway, so also too, I look at my father, and he had to raise 9 freaking kids, and the stress has aged him. Don't get me wrong, or it's aged him. And I imagine, because he's able to work in the backyard with me and all that. We do physical activities every now and then, like fixing the backyard, and can be badass for barbecue stuff. I can tell you that. But I think about how his health would be and where he would be if he decided not to marry and have kids, and if MGTOW was around at the time, if he just went his own way. He might be in better shape. Probably not. Who knows? But it's something that has been really bothering me, and I just can't find any crucial evidence or revealing evidence for that matter, or evidence in general, that single men live longer than married men, or if it's even possible for that. But then this idea came into my head just a couple weeks back, as I was doing a so to speak, a mental lab test about it. Whatever. You get the idea. That here's one thing to think about. And sometimes I tell my friends this, and they take it in like, So just hear it out. Here it is. A domesticated house cat may live longer than a feral cat, but the domesticated cat will usually be neutered and would be careless and will eventually grow fat and lazy because the food's given to him. He has no need to go outside and hunt. So he, in essence, becomes like a couch potato. You know, he lives long, but it's just a lazy sack of flesh walking around your house. While the feral cat is out and about, enjoying the moonlight. It feels the adrenaline of the hunt, and it gets that thrill. That the house cat will likely never experience. And I guess to basically define, tone this up a little bit, or describe this, is maybe it's better to live a short, fulfilling life than a long, rigorous, depressing life. And I think I would choose the short life. Why would I want to live and grow older and older with a nagging woman that just keeps like draining the energy out of me little by little? It's like being a slow poison. But then again, maybe if I, there's so much to discuss about this. I still would like to know an answer, a definite answer. But I guess there's really maybe not an answer because everyone's different. Everyone's health habits are different, so you got to factor in those, I suppose. Well, that's really all I can say right now for the matter. But if I ever think of anything to add on to it, I'll post it up on the new video, maybe a short video, probably like 4 minutes or something of a quick note about how I thought or came to some sort of conclusion to something about the discussion or the topic. So that's really all I have for now. So take her easy, MGTOW, and remember to saddle up and prepare for whatever may come. Peace.